Goldberg on the top, our number 1 seed, all smiles. Both these players, all smiles. Nice handshake beforehand. They know they're going to Worlds. They're going to Worlds together. Kind of a bond you share when you have 2 players like this. You're going to Worlds. You're in a finals. It feels great. So
I wouldn't know.
Nathan on the play. There's going to be a forest and then a pass. So a little bit of a tame turn 1. Joseph on the bottom. Is it Metalcraft? Steam Vents.
And wow, I didn't get to watch all of the first quarterfinals match with Joseph Puglisi, but wow, it just looked absolutely incredible. I watched the end, and that looked like a really tough matchup for Joseph. So for him to be here in the finals is really telling. Seeing that heavy play shirt as well, he's on one of the better teams here on the Pro Tour of Heavy Play Cosmos.
All right, so Urza Saga, and we're going to see. In turn 2, Corey Steelcutter. Is there a 0? Yes, there is. A lot of zeros in the deck. So Mox Opal comes down, makes that Monk token, and going to get things rocking and rolling here. Mana Acceleration, Attackers, and a very tame start for Nathan. Just a Forest, Urza's Cave.
Yeah, and I got to say, I mean, before we see the cards and stuff like this looks pretty decent for Joseph. But outside of that, this matchup, I would think, is just about as bad as Titan and Boros Energy. Maybe even worse, as there is no Blood Moons, there's no effect like that, but there is counter magic. That is kind of the trade-off. Something like a Metallic Rebuke can be very timely up against the Titan deck. So actually, I take that back. This is still probably better than Boros, because counter spells versus just relying on 2 Blood Moons, that's not really that ideal.
We saw Joseph play against Titan earlier in the tournament and won pretty amazingly. Really took a kind of a control role, kind of picked things apart, looked really good. So we're gonna go back Joseph's way. We're gonna see a Haywire Might on the Spelunking. Spelunking did put an extra land in play, so a little value. Drew a card. See Beseiju untapped, and now Urza Saga's ticking up. Emery's getting ready to go here.
That is interesting to not do that post-combat and get in some damage, so must be trying to, bring it back. That makes a lot of sense.
All right, so looking for second spell here. And maybe not. Just prowess. Nope, not that either. So, okay.
Okay, it makes less sense now, but that's okay.
Okay, so
I think that was a head nod. I was like, I missed a point. I think that's the what it looks like Joseph was saying there.
It's a fun battle here, too, that you don't really see very often in tournaments where these players, it's so easy to be like, I did it. I won. I'm going to the World Championship. There's still Magic to play.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's fatigue. It's almost like the come down of being able to be like, okay, well, I got to keep playing. There's no real, release of tension yet.
I mean, that's the couple, top 8s I've made as far as like GPs. That's that initial feeling. Making the top 8 of one of those large events, it feels very, very good. But then you get to the top 8 and you're like, oh, yes, I'm not finished yet. You got to keep it going.
Yep. All right. So we have this Emery Haywire Might loop established, like eating another Spelunking.
So good.
Another card drawn for Nathan, and another extra land can be played. But going to be pretty hard to keep an Amulet or Spelunking on the table with the Might. That being said, there's the 1 copy of the Wandering Minstrel, which is a creature-based version of that effect that cannot be hit by the Might.
Yeah. And I mean, you can still, if you're Nathan, just hard cast some Primeval Titans here, but I believe the Spelunking trigger would be on the stack, so could play 1 or 2 lands, decides to play 0 instead, and man, this kind of like soft lock that Joseph has Nathan in right now is looking really nice.
All right, so lock looks good, not a lot of pressure yet. Here's Saga, going to Chapter 3. We're going to see a decision of a Construct or a Mana. Going to be a Construct before that Saga goes away.
And the Boots is already in the yard, so we're not searching up that one. That one's always great to be able to speed things up. Now, you can do that with Emery if you want, but I would assume we can get a couple different things. You can get some Mox Amber for some extra mana. You can get Aether Spellbomb to insulate yourself from the Titan creature itself, but goes for the extra mana. That leads me to believe that, yep, your favorite little Might is coming back once again.
Just a little guy.
Just a little guy.
A little bug.
Just a little bug. I mean, that card is so unbelievable. It really does make this deck, air quotes, teamer. And, you are playing a breeding pool just for Haywire Might. There is no other green cards anywhere. That just shows the power of Haywire Might when you can search it up with Urza's Saga in the metagame in Modern right now.
Only downside for Joseph here so far is that no second spell triggers 2 turns in a row. But here's Nathan. We're going to see Amulet number 1. Played quickly, too. So playing this right into the Haywire Might, making a statement what that statement is. We're going to find out.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know. Okay, so that is Lotus. So that is the ability to untap and cast Primetime here. So nice job from Nathan to be able to get that onto the battlefield. And now, if I'm Nathan, I hope Joseph sacrificed this to blow up the amulet in response versus letting it untap and then Metallic rebuking a Titan. That would be much worse because then you untap and deal with the amulet and you get everything.
Yep, so 1 blue mana available because of that Mox Opal. And the amulet's going to come in. So we're going to see some mana floated. Some lands go away to the ability on Lotus Field. So we got a green floating. Lotus Field's untapped. And you got the green out of here. Amulet number 2.
Now right. Joseph could respond if you want, but is this the classic 3-mana Scape Shift? Or the 3-land Scape Shift? It sure is.
It's a classic now. I didn't even know it was a chapter in the book. We've now seen it 3 games in a row.
Yeah, no kidding.
All right, so going to tap and going to think here. So options, of course, are Highwire Might on one of these amulets. If there's a Rebuke available, that looks pretty good too.
I mean, if there's a Rebuke, it's got to be so tough to come back because you can Rebuke the Scape Shift, and then you could bring back, you could sack Haywire Might during your turn, bring it back, Haywire Might again. But, I mean, we saw Nathan do this last game. I mean, we saw at least half of it.
we did see some of it, yes. All right, so got to go get 3 lands off Scape Shift. And Joseph, you know, is going to say, all right, 3 lands, huh? I thought it was supposed to be 4 lands usually. So 3 cards in hand, 3 lands on the way, and amulets in play, 1 green floating. At this point, Joseph's all tapped out and saying, all right, Nathan, show me what you got.
Yeah, and let's see. I mean, there's the ability to make a ton of lands here. We can do a Delirium check. We have land, sorcery. I'm not sure what is underneath the Scape Shift, but just 3 Crumbling Vestiges.
Oh, is it Titan time?
I mean, Green Sun Zenith there, right? Green Sun Zenith for Titan. We're at the perfect spot for that. Scape Shift again.
All right, we're getting too Galaxy Brain for me here.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, you know, like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? How you can phone a friend. I got Dom's number. I'm just gonna give him a call right now, and we'll get him on the line. Okay.
You know the episode where the guy.
Oh, you already know. You don't even have to say which episode. It's the best one.
He calls his dad. He says, "Dad,
yeah.
I got nothing to ask you. I'm about to win the $1 million." That's what Nathan's doing right now.
I mean, that was the greatest moment in any show, I feel. But
all right, so now we are Scape Shifting again, getting another Lotus Field, making more mana. Things can come in untapped. Bounce the Teleria West to hand. Now we're going to transmute. Go to 0. How about Summoner's Pact? That's going to get an Aftermath Analyst, and oh my God. Nathan is an artist here. Just absolutely making this look seamless through 3 Haywire Mites. Yep. Lost 2 Spelunkings, lost an Amulet, and is still Scape Shifting with 3 lands. Yeah, this is unbelievable. I feel like I'm watching a different deck.
I know.
And
honestly, that is so true. When you play against someone who has this kind of proficiency with the deck, it looks like a completely different deck. And what a game 1, Jim.
Holy, I'm in shock.
Both of us are just like jaw dropped. That was impressive.
Holy moly. Nathan takes that game 1, unbelievable fashion. And Joseph, you can't be mad if you're Joseph there. You had a lot of interaction.
Yeah.
You did your job.
I mean, the only thing you can be mad about is if Joseph did have a Metallic Rebuke for that first Scape Shift. But, I mean, it looked far too juicy to just cast that. I think you would have just fired that off.
I'd be very surprised. All right.
Same. My goodness.
Nathan's now 1 win away from a championship. Let's go over Joseph's side. Joseph's had a fantastic tournament. Get a sideboard here. Got 2 games to win. We got 2 Blood Moon, 2 Consigned Memory, 2 Fire Magic, 3 Force Negation, 2 Mystical Dispute, 1 Shadow Spear, 1 Soul Guide Lantern, 1 Strict Serenade, and 1 Vexing Bauble. What's Joseph got to do here to come back and win these games?
Some juicy stuff, Jim. So there's 2 Blood Moons. That's pretty good. The Vexing Bauble, it counters exactly the 2 Summoner's Pact, but it's a path that is traveled very often. So maybe the Vexing Bauble still comes in because, well, if you have 1 Vexing Bauble in your deck, you actually have 5 of them with your Urza's Saga, so that is a possibility. Strict Serenade is phenomenal. That is for the Blink matchups as well as the Amulets. And then the 2 Consigned to Memories looks really good to me. Force of Negation, most of the time I don't like it, but when a deck like this Isn't Metalcraft deck has to be proactive and also be reactive, that's the card that allows you to do both. So I could see that. That's really good on like that Spelunking turns or the Scape Shift turns.
All right, it's a lot of tools for Joseph. On Nathan's side, we got 1 Boseiju, 1 Collector Oof, 3 Dismember, 1 Dozan, the Fallen Leaf, 1 Force of Vigor, 1 Ice Soul Explorer, 1 Insidious Fungus, 1 Mystical Dispute, 1 Odawar Soaring City, 1 6, 1 Tireless Tracker, and 2 Vexing Bauble.
So I think we're gonna see Force of Vigor. We're gonna see. I really like Boseiju. We saw a little bit of this in the last match that Nathan played in a matchup that was similar. I believe it was Is It Affinity. Brought in Collector Roof. That looks phenomenal. Did bring in Dosen. I think we are gonna see that as there's a lot of counter spells. We saw the Ice Steel Explorer, the Insidious Fungus, 6 Tireless Tracker. I would imagine we're gonna see all those as well as Dismembers. I think, Nathan, you can make a case for just about every single card in the sideboard coming in. The Dispute looks great as well, since this is a very blue-heavy deck. So, shuffle it all in, Jim.
Plus 75.
Yeah, why not? You got extra lands you can take out. Why not?
That is true. So, yeah, a lot of interaction here. We're going to see a very, very exciting, I think, back and forth, very interactive game 2 and 3. But before that, we'll take a quick second here and look at this sale that's ending soon, folks. The sale's for the weekend, and the weekend is almost over. 10% off all Magic Commander set singles while supplies last, of course, and pick up all your favorite Commander cards from across various Commander sets. Obelisk of Erd, favorite of mine.
Ooh.
Name Goblin on that one, pretty cool. Any favorites of yours?
Well, I mean, I love Final Fantasy, 10 was my favorite game as a kid, and is still my favorite game now. Oh my God, Jim, you got to try it. You got to try it. I'll pick up some Zelda if you play some Final Fantasy 10. Is that a deal?
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe do that.
That's a Jim's no.
Listen, if we had time to do that, let's just go on vacation. We'll just leave the families, leave everything behind. We'll just bring the consoles, and I'll play Final Fantasy, you play Zelda, and we'll just,
Fiancés hate this one trick.
All right, so Nathan Goldberg been pacing the field, the #1 seed, up a game, can smell the trophy. Ready to rock and roll. Joseph Puglisi's had a phenomenal tournament as well with this incredibly innovative Metalcraft deck. Got to win 2 more games here,
yeah.
But has the tools to do it for sure.
And I got to say, if everyone played Amulet Titan like Nathan, I don't know if Amulet Titan would survive like the next week. If everyone played it that crisply and that amazingly, the win percentage of Amulet would be through the ceiling. But it just isn't, because it is so very difficult to play that, there's players like you and I that will sit down with Amulet, and when my opponent has a Haywire Mite and they just blew up my 3rd Amulet, I just be like, well, you got it, Joseph. That was well fought.
Yeah, there's playing Amulet well, and then there's whatever Nathan is doing.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
So we got Joseph here on the play, turn 1 Tamiyo. And then that's it. No 0 drops. I'm going to go back to Nathan's way.
It's like that meme where there's little brain activities. It gets more and more until it's just exploding at the bottom. Yep. Nathan's the 5th one that isn't even on that meme.
All right, so here's a Boral Grazer. Here's a turn 1 Urza Saga. Great place to be.
Here's going to be the main thing. Does Grazer block the Tamiyo here in this big of a moment?
100%.
Oh, come on.
All right.
Now he's priced in. Okay, we're still not dead. There could be one other non-creature permanent here to maybe make this possible.
Nope, kind of come in here. So, got to block the 2 Power Monk.
Ugh.
So Tamiyo gets in unscathed. And then we see a post-combat Emery and a Clue. This is a phenomenal start for Joseph.
Oh my God. Never been so excited to play a deck when I get home in my entire life.
You mean Amulet, right?
Then Amulet, yeah, absolutely.
You've been taking notes here in the booth about what Nathan's pulling off?
Yeah, just my one note, don't ever try this at home.
All right, so here's the Amulet. And now Joseph is tapped out. That was a great turn. Force Negation is a possible avenue here. That Amulet looks to be on a stack. Is Joseph thinking about something? What else could it be? Nope, it's 2 Amulets. Oh, boy. Is it time?
Oh, my goodness.
Is Nathan ready to take down this Las Vegas Regional Championship trophy right here, right now?
I mean, turn 2s are possible. They're very rare.
Yep.
They are very rare. That's the best thing you can be doing with Amulet. But, oh my goodness, they are rare. But with Nathan actually thinking about it, he's like, oh, this is kind of uncharted territory. I don't combo turn 2 that often. But this could, of course, just be a value play like Spelunking or something.
If we see 4 3-land scape shifts in a row, I will forget everything I knew about Amulet, which was very little to be, admittedly. But
yeah,
here's an analyst.
I thought you were going to say eat your hat or something. I thought you were going to give us something fun to look for, but
I'm not wearing a hat.
Well, I'll buy you one. I'll buy you one for sure.
Not if I have to eat it. All right, so just going to see an Aftermath Analyst going to mill some cards. Kind of interesting, actually. Kind of a modest turn. So going to pass back, though, with an extremely threatening board. The third Amulet is potentially on the way. And a lot to do for Joseph here now. Joseph is fully untapped. Now has all the mana available. Has a Bobble. Can go draw a card with the Emery. We got clues. A lot going on, but a lot to fight through.
I mean, both players are kind of nut drawing here, which is truly fitting for the end of a tournament. But, you know, the Analyst being able to just play that out there, this isn't Metalcraft deck. They're Lightning Bolts, they're Unholy Heats, but I would imagine some of those come out. It could still get Flame of Anor. Flame of Anor would be awesome here. Blow up an Amulet, blow up an Analyst. But that was easy for me to say. But even that isn't like absolutely detrimental.
All right, so we see not a very good turn here from Joseph, starting off with a Clue Sack, which is always a sign of desperation. But
yeah,
the Cutter follows, Bobble from the graveyard off the Emery, so we are going to see some tokens here. But this is not a bad little attack, but once again, Joseph is tapped out. And aside from Force of Negation, going to be at the mercy of whatever Nathan has in store.
Yeah, no kidding. Those could be the last monks of the weekend here for Joseph, as Nathan hasn't made any expression at all in this tournament whatsoever. But even this, I kind of saw like a sit-up moment because you got to feel like you're looking pretty good when you're about to put your third Amulet into play and you already have an Analyst ready to be active.
All right, got to take a look at the Bobble. What fate is coming, we will find out right now. Nathan's going to draw. This could be the turn. Saga goes to 3. Imagine we'll see a mana floated here, and they're going to go get something. Nathan got to take a second and think it through.
Now, of course, Force of Negation is still possible, but if we just go for a Titan line here, Titan with 2 Amulets, it's good enough. You know, I mean, sure, you could... after you Titan Utilaria West for Summoner's Pact, and then you Force of Negation that one, if Nathan's draw is that fragile, then you can break it up. But I don't know, Jim.
With the Analyst already in play, it's pretty scary.
It is very scary.
Yeah, there's no need to even find the Analyst. You know, it's already ready to rock and roll. So.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Goldberg says he might just lock this thing up right here, right now. Vexing Bobble says no free interaction either. So Joseph's going to put the hand down, put the hands in the lap, and say, Nathan, I would like to keep playing in this tournament. Please don't kill me.
Yeah, no kidding. We'll be happy to be able to untap. Now, I don't think the life total is exactly updated. I think Nathan should be a little bit earlier.
Okay. We got a okay, surprise, surprise. So that Bobble is just a draw. So the mana floated from the Urza Saga will draw a card of the Bobble. And now...
what a roller coaster of emotions we're on.
So as I said last turn, Joseph started a turn by sacrificing a Clue. That's typically a sign of weakness. That's saying, I don't have it yet. Finding a Vexing Bobble and then sacking that immediately is a sign of that as well. So here's Lotus Field. Going to make a bunch of mana.
Oh, boy.
2 lands on the way out. Here's a Insidious Fungus.
Cantrip. This is a huge sign of weakness from Nathan. There's a smirk right there. I think that is a I do not have it.
All right, Mirror Pool, untap, make some more mana.
If anything, making a copy of Aftermath Analyst?
How is Nathan writing a new page to the book every game?
Yeah.
All right, so... gonna copy. Nope, hold on. Let's make sure we got everything all PC here. So, Mirror Pool copying. All right, so we have a copy of Aftermath Analyst in play with the Mirror Pool. 3 cards go to the graveyard.
I don't think we played a land yet. Oh, no, we have. Wow, what is going on, Jim? Everything we think we know, we don't know.
I know less than nothing when it comes to Amulet Titans, so I am a truly perplexed man here. So
I mean, really, what it is Nathan had the amazing setup, but nothing to do with it. That's exactly what we just saw.
Yeah. So now the good news for Nathan is there's no lands in play, but with the second Analyst, it's a backup copy to get all the lands back from the graveyard. So 1 bounce land can get all these things ready to go. Now we're going Joseph's way. Can Joseph interact with this in any way? We see a fetch from Joseph, 5 mana, 6 mana available with a Mox possibly in the graveyard. And there's your copy token. All right. I didn't think I would see a copied Aftermath Analyst this tournament.
Neither did I. So here's the thing. Something like a Metallic Rebuke doesn't matter because the amount of mana that Nathan is going to be able to generate is going to be through the roof. But having some hard counter spells, Strix Serenade, that's going to be Joseph's best card. Having a couple of Consigned to Memories, that would be excellent, as well as Force of Negation. You need these hard counters here because the number Nathan can get up to with 2 Analysts and just 1 bounce land here is through the roof.
All right, so we see another Legend Rule for just a little bit of extra value. We see a Tamiyo being cast just to get the Legend Rule to get a spell for Corey Steelcutter. Bobble comes out from Emery, so now we see the monks coming in. We've got now 5 monks. It's a decent fighting force. Nathan's still at 18 with a Grazer available too. And
is that a penguin monk? That's pretty cool.
All right. Sorry, Corey. The follow-up is a Blood Moon.
Ooh.
All right, with no lands in play at all for Nathan, Blood Moon cuts off a lot of these avenues.
Yeah, Nathan's like, that's no big deal. I don't even have any lands. Just kidding. It is a huge deal. Now these lands are not going to be entering tap. They're going to just be untapped, and I think that's going to close the door. I don't see a world where Nathan's getting out of it. He had that turn. He had the draw, but all dressed up and nowhere to go.
Yeah, there are 3 basic forests in Nathan's deck. And gonna take a look.
It's not even that. It's like you don't have enough mana to then besage you and then recover for next turn. So absolutely nothing Nathan could do there. He had the 1-turn window to win this event straight out. Joseph knew his fate was resigned to Nathan's draw. Sometimes you just don't have it with Amulet.
Wow.
Very rarely.
Every game's a new thing.
Yeah.
Every game's just, I'm floored. I cannot wait for this final game here. We got 1 game left in this tournament. Sideboarding wise, don't think we're changing much here. Play draw, right?
I don't think so. No, every card that you really want in is going to stay in. You know, I mean, Joseph can take the knowledge of, yeah, you brought in Vexing Bauble, maybe trim on some zeros. You know, you can trim on like a Mox Amber. That's probably the only 0 you really want to get rid of. I think it's a sin to ever cut a Bauble, so I don't think we're going to be seeing that. You know, yeah, I think it's just going to be a click-back scenario.
Corey, we are in Sin City.
Yep.
So, just saying.
Sins are around. Okay, yeah.
All right, so we're going to get into game number 3, our last game of the entire tournament. We're going to crown a champion, but first, we're going to let you know about our next event.
Ooh, yeah, it's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, we're going to do this all again. We got a little break for the holidays, then we're right back at it with our sale for Avatar: The Last Airbender, now available on StarCityGames.com. We got events, we got Avatar events, we got Avatar cards, Avatar everything. Order your cards now, your play boosters, you got your singles, your commander cards, all on StarCityGames.com/MTG-TLA.
Nailed it.
Nailed it. There's a cool event coming up, though. It's in January. I can't wait for it.
Why don't? I mean, we talked about it. Let's see the event coming up. You know, as we see all these players, they start getting better over the weekend. I like that our plugs are getting worse.
I'm just excited about everything, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
There we go.
There we go. That's what you meant.
Yes.
It was the producers who missed that cue, right?
Spotlight the Avatar, SGCon Atlanta, January 9th to the 11th. It's going to be awesome. New standard, new year. Going to be really, really cool coming up the heels of the World Championship. It's going to be awesome. We hope to see you there. All info, StarCityGames.com/SGCon.
New year, same us, though.
Yeah, same, unfortunately. All right, so what's crown champion, folks? Nathan Goldberg, Joseph Puglisi, and ready to rock and roll in our finals. Looks like Joseph is on a mulligan. Nathan here keeping the full 7. Nathan's also on the play.
And we're going to have to do what is literally the hardest thing for both Jim and I as streamers and just generally loud people. We're going to have to be keeping it down a little bit. The play area, it's completely empty. You know, the hall is empty. Everyone's just hauling away chairs. This final moment of all these tournaments, when you're playing especially, is very eerie.
Yep.
You know, like anything you say, you can hear a pin drop in these tournament halls.
It's very fitting for the survival of the fittest nature of a tournament. There's no one else left. So we got Nathan on a great draw here. Turn 1 Amulet off an Urza Saga. Just a Spire Bluff out for Joseph, speaking to possibly some interaction. Nathan says, sure, whatever. I'll just play an Odawara and say go. Going back Joseph's way.
Yeah, and Joseph definitely wants to be hustling out a little bit faster than this, but still not so bad. But yeah, this is definitely a fantastic start for Nathan. The best starts from Joseph usually involve Mox Opal and 3 artifacts in total. And this, you know, you can have the consign to counter it.
All right, so draw go for Joseph.
And if you don't have interaction and you don't have this earlier start, what's in your hand, you know? So it's got to be.
All right, so we're going to see a consign a memory with an extra copy there, just in case there's one of dispute. Don't want to get countered by that.
Yep.
So Saga goes away. Little 1 mana Stone Rain, 1 mana Floating. So, a nice piece of interaction, but not a great start for Joseph.
No, not great. But preventing Amulet 2, Amulet 2, Electric Boogaloo can always just absolutely get it done. Oh, Tireless Tracker for 3. Is it your boy?
I think it's going to be Doza and the Fallen Leaf.
So,
Green Sun for 3, making some mana.
We were both wrong.
All right, wow.
We were
awesome.
both wrong.
Here's the 6. So this is Nathan saying this is kind of a grindy game, right? Let's get 6, and you ain't doing much. Let's kind of play the long game.
I mean, 6 is really, really powerful when you can attack. You mill, you're going to be able to put a land from among them into your hand. So you can't put the Saga itself, but then flashing back anything. But just getting that mana advantage and just saying, hey, this is a card you kind of have to kill. It's very, very important.
Yeah, with Joseph taking a kind of a slow, reactive posture here, this is the perfect card for the moment. We want to play a slower game? Sure. I'll get some great value off my cards. So,
there could be... Oh.
Okay.
Okay, Blood Moon is here.
Huge play for Joseph now. 6 doesn't get 3 looks at a forest every time, which is kind of cool. But no land there, unfortunately. 6 is getting in. Blood Moon in play. Blood Moon, of course, one of the all-time hate cards against these Amulet Titan decks. But there's the forest.
There's the forest, and I mean, the one thing that you can do if Nathan were to have it is play something like Lotus Field and then blow up the Blood Moon, and it's like, oh my god. Look at Nathan's deck, just having all these different tools post-board to be able to clean up different things, so we'll see if there is a red card from Joseph to be able to deal with that fungus.
Yeah, this is risky, so exposing the fungus can deal with the Blood Moon, but it is now in play and unable to activate. So, Joseph, boarding out cards like Unholy Heat. Those cards
I see it in hand. I see it in hand.
All right. Gonna think it through. Blood Moon, certainly the kind of card that slows things down. We aren't really in a rush here. The hall's clearing up. We got plenty of time. We want to make sure we crown a champion, and both these players want to make sure that they earn it if they get there.
All right, the Steel Cutter's in hand. Mox Opal, Rebuke, Unholy Heat, and one other mystery card. So a very solid hand here from Joseph.
All right, so Joseph's going to figure out how he wants to get this done. Going to start off with a Corey Steel Cutter.
Okay.
Then we're going to look at the Unholy Heat. So, love a non-plus reaction there from Nathan. Yeah, okay, sure.
Yeah, sure, had it.
Yep.
But the thing that he could do is just retrace it.
That is true.
Yeah, I mean, that's a huge deal here. Like, you can deal with, you won the battle, but when you win the war here is kind of what it's all about here. And if we just have just the one counterspell, it could be a temporary stopgap here, but that's kind of all it would be.
All right, so Mox comes down. Not online just yet. There are only 2 artifacts in play. Blood Moon looks a little artifacty, but it's not.
Yeah, it sure does. I don't know what that looks like, to be honest, but it's something.
Looks like something. All right, so going back Nathan's way, as Corey mentioned, there's a retraceability on the 6 where you can discard a land to play any card from your graveyard. And we see a couple lands there now. Urza Saga, Crumbling Vestige.
Either way, that's great. That is just the ability to retrace anything. And, yeah, I mean, the value you get from 6 is through the roof.
Yep, and now the fungus is all ready to go. So, going to tap Forest, going to cast that fungus. Discarding a land. Has the land been discarded yet, or no?
I don't think so, yep. But there is the Vestige.
And then we're going to see a Rebuke. So, like you're saying, this sort of one-turn delay. It says, all right, maybe next turn. The problem is Joseph's clock isn't really that fast. So
yes.
These sort of like, time-walky effects are not too effective.
No, they aren't. But if you can find something like Flame of Anor or the ability to deal with 6, but that's the thing is there's not a lot of ways to do it. Flame of Anor seems to be the best to me. But, why not? Well, get some extra value in here. Just setting up for if this Blood Moon is gone.
All right, so discards a land to play another amulet out of the graveyard. 2 amulets in play and a 6. A couple mountains and a forest for Nathan. Going back Joseph's way. Going to start things off with a Emery, other legendary creature. Going to hit a Mox Amber is the only artifact in the graveyard.
Pretty solid. Now you can do a little cute tricks here. You can Corey Steel Cutter over to Emery to give it haste to then bring stuff back from your graveyard. But the only juicy target here is the Mox Amber. And look at this sweet little play because now you do that, then the Corey Steel Cutter reattaches. So I love it. That's a nice trick you get to do with Lava Spore Brutes. But of course, with my Steel Cutter as well, you can get it done.
All right, so Monk is here. Prowess is up. A couple attackers coming in. Some mana available. The both Moxen are online. Also the Fiery Islet. Looks like only one card in hand of that mulligan. Definitely not ideal.
And no more artifacts in the yard to be able to find anything too juicy. And being played, so Nathan knows this is shields down.
Joseph's cards are on the table, folks. We're going back Nathan's way. And now the fungus is all ready to go. First things first, attack with that 6. Now it does remove a hasty Titan out of the equation for this spot this turn.
It does.
So,
but you don't have to attack to win the game.
That is true.
Yeah.
So we can see a retrace. That fungus is coming back one more time. Third time's the charm. Discard a land to play the fungus. Now we can see the Blood Moon get eaten up here.
And there's enough cards in the yard that if you can kill the Blood Moon and then play a bounce land and scape shift, I mean, the heuristic of you need 4 lands is thrown out the window here from what we've seen from Nathan. So, wow, doesn't even do that, just tries to essentially cheat in this growth chamber and will do the classic block, blow up Blood Moon at end step if you so choose. So, a nice defensive, disciplined play here from Nathan.
All right, going back Joseph's way. And what do we see? One card fresh off the top. We got a hand in here holding up. Make sure we're getting everything all okay. As Corey mentioned, no artifacts in the graveyard for Emery. It's a lonely Emery. Joseph has some work to do here. Blood Moon looks great, but things are starting to fall apart.
They really, really are. Tense moment.
Yep. Definitely feeling it. And Joseph's just going to say go here. All right. It might be go time for Nathan. Goodbye, Blood Moon. Hello. The glasses just come off?
Oh, the glasses came off.
That's like a WWE move.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's showtime. But Joseph says, hold on a second. I got something to do, too. I'm going to crack this Fiery Islet and draw a Force of Negation. Okay, so a little bit of interaction.
I swear that Saga came in last turn. Maybe I'm missing that, but of course you can miss your Construct trigger as well, but yeah, maybe that just came in this turn.
All right, so Otawar, and here's Primeval Titan. Force of Negation does not counter that one. We're getting lands. Nathan's done this quite a few times this weekend, but will it be the last time? We're going to find out.
Oh boy, this is gigantic.
Got to think it through. There are 2 amulets in play, and there's a lot to do.
I mean, that's the usual. The book says that this is 2 amulets and a Titan usually can get it done. That's with no interaction, though. We don't know what Joseph has.
Looking to the sky, thinking it through. Oh, nope, hold on. And
okay.
Saga was an under Blood Moon.
That makes perfect sense. Yeah, right. Of course. Yeah.
So, yep.
It was a mountain during the upkeep. Oh, wow. Okay. I mean, I'm sure that was a little bit more of a reason why Nathan did it, but yeah.
So,
where is that Saga living?
Somewhere.
Okay.
All right. So, gonna get Lotus Field, Simic Growth Chamber, make some mana, and we're off to the races. Nathan's all ready to go here. Looks like the pieces are there. With 6 here, also able to cast cards in the graveyard.
Yeah.
There are a lot of pieces. Joseph, head and hands. It's been a phenomenal tournament. If this is the end, Joseph's still going to Worlds.
Oh!
All right, we see the Force on the Green Sun Zenith.
Okay. I mean, if that was the only thing, then we should be all good to go. And the dispute.
Oh, there it is. A mystical dispute. Nathan Goldberg. They say what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Not this time. Nathan's gone out of here with a trophy, a World Championship invite, a Pro Tour invite.